friends, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing 2 makeup looks using the US Natasha Denona Glam palette, and we're going to be doing a lot of comparisons with other palettes that I have within my collection. We also have her little glam palette to compare this guy to, and yeah, I'm going to show you 2 makeup looks, very simple and easy, and then I'm going to let you know if I think you need this palette or not. If this is your first time here, my name is Gigi. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. I do a lot of luxury makeup, unboxing reviews. I love luxury makeup, so if that sounds fun to you, make sure to stick around by clicking that red button that says subscribe, and also come over to my Instagram because we do a ton of fun things that we cannot fit here in my channel. And without further ado, let's start. Alrighty friends, as you can see, looking really glam because hello glam palette. I had to apply eyelashes as well because I mean all the looks that you're gonna create with this palette really calls to be real glam. So this is what the palette looks like. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I'm gonna insert close-ups of the palette right now. You get 15 cool tone eyeshadows, and as usual you get those little dots at the back of the palette where you can rearrange all the colors within the palette. If you have a medium to deeper complexion, Natasha actually posted a picture on her IG. I think it was her IG stories, and I did take a screenshot of it. I'm gonna pop it up there. She rearranged the palette to be suitable for a more medium complexion. I didn't do that because I was rushing to get the video out, but I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. So I'm just gonna move all the shadows to make them more medium skin you know, friendly. So if that's something that you're interested, again, I'll pop the picture right there so you can do that as well at home. So this of course is a super glam palette. The name really calls it, and these are the 2 looks I created. I did a more golden eye and a more pinky eye. Within this palette you can find her regular, you know, mattes. I don't find any of those cream to matte formulas that she's usually giving us per se in her bronze palette. You get this shade here, which is a cream to matte to powder you know, kind of formula. I didn't find any within this palette, so that is something good because that formula is a little bit tricky to work with, and so I was happy to not see that formula within this guy. So she describes this palette as an everyday palette that creates a super dramatic smoky eyes as well as a variety of natural and extreme glam looks. What is really special about this palette is the names of them. So you can find names as a center eyelid, outer eyelid, inner corner, blend, crease, position, lash line, and those are the names on the palette. And I'm going to be really honest, cool tone palettes really intimidate me. I'm not an expert, I'm not a makeup artist, so whenever I saw this palette I was really excited. I knew I was gonna buy it for you all, but for me and my everyday kind of makeup I was super intimidated. I didn't know where to go, I didn't know what to do. So for my 2 tutorials I did follow what she suggests, for the most part what she suggests on the names of this palette to create these guys. So I did do her, you know, her crease shade, whatever she called it. I used it on my crease, same for my center lid and my inner corner and everything like that. So I found the palette to be extremely easy to use. I was amazed, so I was not longer intimidated. Also the way that she always creates your palette is that you can use them as, you know, like in this way. So as quads like this, you can use a full look using like this, you can use them like this. So it is a very user friendly, and I appreciate the genius in Natasha Denona. So anyways, and now let's jump on onto the tutorial portion of this video. Then we're gonna be seeing some swatches of the palette, comparisons with the sultry and the glam, and then we're gonna come back for final thoughts. So I'm gonna see you guys then. Alrighty guys, so let's begin. I'm going to take the shade Blend and I'm going to run that all over my crease. And I'm gonna take that shade that's called Smoke, and I'm gonna use it in my outer V. On a packing brush flat like this, I'm gonna take the shade Center Lid, and I'm gonna place that in the center of my lid. Then with my finger, I'm gonna pack a little bit more. Then I'm gonna take this one in my inner corner. Then I'm gonna take that blend shade. I'm gonna run Smoke, that shade that I use in my outer V, on my lower lash. And we are done for this eye. We just have to do lashes, and maybe I'm gonna do some liner. So now let's move on to my other eye. Alright, now for my other eye, I'm gonna take this one on my crease. That's the name, crease. Then I'm gonna take this lighter one that is called Transition, and I'm gonna just buff a little bit lower. I'm gonna take this shade, the pinky one, on my center. It's called Center Island. And then I'm gonna take in a corner. I'm gonna take blend and I'm just gonna blend those edges. I'm gonna take a little bit of lash line on this outer V. I am keeping it really close to my lash line. I'm gonna take blend again. For my lower lash, I'm gonna take a lash line and I'm gonna do that on this lower lash. And I think that's it for the eyes. So let me just finish off my makeup and then I'll be right back. Okay friends, so at bottom we have Natasha's Glam palette, and then at top we have Sultry. So you do get a bronze shade which are similar, you do get that pink which is awfully similar, you do get this one which is a little bit bronzy compared to either of them, you do get that icy shade which are them. So they are really, oh, the gray, the blend shade, you know, they're awfully similar. But again, not quite the same formula and not quite the same quality. I would stick with Natasha if you're looking for cool tone. And lastly, I did wanted to show you mini Glam palette, and I try to, you know, color coordinate what I thought they would look closer. So on the mini you have that brown which is really similar to that, then you have the light shade that I was talking about which doesn't really do anything for me and my complexion, which I don't really see within new Glam palette. Then you get this bronzy shade, the first one. Oh, I just stuck my finger into that. Okay, you get that bronzy shade, which this one is more, you know, as you can see, is more bronzy yellow. This is more neutral bronze. Then you get that pinky shade, the first one, which is awfully similar to that. And then you get this one, which is a little bit more green than this one that is more bronze. So if you have the mini and you have light complexion, I think you're really enjoying this guy. But if you have medium complexion, as I said, medium to tan, this is useless. So you're only gonna get smoky eyes using this guy. You cannot do anything else with it. I mean, unless you use that one by itself and that one by itself, you know what I mean? But with the new Glam, you get more variety. Of course, it's a bigger palette, so you get more, you know, more to do with it. So yeah, I think they're similar, but they're not spot on dupes. And Natasha Denona did say that these are all new shades. Alright friends, and I'm back and my makeup is all completed, and I have to say that I did needed to apply lashes because the look really calls for lashes. I'm not one that really applies lashes every single time I do tutorials because I want you to see the everyday person, and that's me. But for this palette, I really like the makeup looks that I decided to do. I felt like I needed lashes, so I thought I'll explain myself. But other than applying, I applied liner on this eye, so I did a really quick liner. I applied lashes, and this is it. For this eye, I only apply shadow as a liner, so I use her shade Lash Line, which I use in my lower lash. So I use it with a brush like this, and I did a little wing, and I smoked all my my lash line with that shade. This is what we look like. And these are them together. Alright guys, so let's wrap up with my final thoughts. Now you've seen the looks, swatches, and an overview of the whole palette, and I've got to say that I am highly impressed at the palette itself. As I mentioned, I was extremely overwhelmed and just scared of this cool tone palette. Only cool tone palette that I have is Sultry and the little mini guy, and I don't use Sultry, I'm gonna be quite honest. It's just a very intimidating. I only like the metallics in this palette, and I didn't find the transitions to be just easy to work with. The mattes are a little bit like just grainy and just harsh. I don't know if I just have an old palette that I don't want to, you know, just throw out. This gray shade is just so intimidating for me. Then you get the black, which is worse. Like I don't use the Sultry because every time I use the Sultry, I'll use the metallics. So I'll take one of these shades, I pop it all over my lid, and I'm good to go. So that's the only way that I use cool tone palettes. So now this guy, I feel like it was so easy to use because of the reasons I said. You have the name already within the palette, where to place it. It is so easy. Of course, you can always do what you want to do when it comes to your combinations. But for me, and it's someone that is not a makeup artist, this was extremely easy and user-friendly. Loved it. Of course, you get Natasha Denona quality, so it is an amazing quality when it comes to metallics, mattes. Everything about the palette is stunning. I am really excited to actually get playing with the palette a little bit more and see what I feel like and see what I come out with. I really like this palette. I don't think it compares with, you know, within her line. I don't think I've got a ton of comparisons. I could do like side to sides with her palettes. You'll find one or two shades that look similar. So when it comes to the mini palette, I am going to say that this shade was really useless for my medium complexion, so I was always had to take this out of the picture. This was only like, you know, like a brow bone kind of shade, so I didn't get a ton of use of the mini glam. So when it comes to comparing the mini glam and the crease, now this was meant to be your crease shade, but to me, I'm a medium complexion, it didn't work as a crease shade, so I always had to dip into the brown, and those look came out really smoky and glam. But here you have this blend shade which leans a little bit peachy, and then you have this one which is not as, you know, as cool tone and intimidating, which makes the palette, in my opinion, perfect. Because even if you use one of those grays, you can always mix it with that blend shade, that peachy shade I just showed you, and it's gonna dim down that coolness and it's gonna make it really wearable. So even though this is the glam palette and it is extremely glam, I still feel like you can come out with you know, everyday kind of looks if you use you know, this guy or like any of these shimmers all over your lid, and use your bronzer as your transition, and you're golden and good to go. So I am happy to have this palette. As I mentioned, quality is extraordinary. Natasha Denona, as usual, killed the formula of this palette. I love it. I love to have a cool tone in my collection because that was something that I feel like I was missing, because again, I don't really use the sultry all that much. So I find that this palette is less intimidating and just a very easy to use. So I am very impressed. And do I think you need it? It's all gonna come down, and it's gonna depend on what you have in your collection. If you already have the sultry and you like the sultry, I don't really think you need Natasha, because they're quite similar. If you don't have the sultry and you do want a cool tone palette, this is the perfect addition to your collection. Fall is approaching, and those cool tones are gonna be super in, and so this is perfect. I feel like it is perfect timing for Natasha. I mean, she's a genius. What can I say? I love the quality of her eyeshadow palettes, and this was, you know, no exception. Alright, my friends, and that's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this palette? Do you like it? What do you think about the eye looks? Do you think they're intimidating to you, or do you think you can pull them off? Let me know. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. Please let me know if you're gonna pick it up or not. I would love to know. Thank you so much for your love and support, my friends. Do not forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you next time. Bye.